Shannon, what did Adam Silver's comments tell you?
Ja's in a heap of trouble. Skip, when we talked about this a couple of months ago, I said I don't believe anything is coming out because the playoffs are going on, the NBA finals are going to happen, and he doesn't want to do anything to take away from these guys' shining moment because this is about the players that's in the playoffs, not Ja Morant. I will deal with Ja at a later date and time. Did you hear what he said, Skip? He said, in terms of the timing, we've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. Stuff that we didn't even know. We didn't know. All we saw was the gun flashing on IG. He said, but through our investigation, let me tell you something about these leagues, the NFL, the MLB, they got the best of the best. If you don't work for the federal government, you work for a sport. You work for one of these leagues, Skip. And there isn't anything that they can't find out.
Yeah.
When I say anything, any and everything, Skip, he says, so in assessing discipline is appropriate. If that's the case, we look at both history of prior acts, but then we look at the individual's players' histories as well, and the seriousness, of course, of the conduct. Those are all things that get factored. Skip, remember he said the seriousness of gun violence in the country? How Ja could have maimed someone, he could have killed someone, he could have hurt someone seriously.
Or himself.
Or himself, and then flip it back 2 months later, boom, here we are again. That's history. There's a prior histories. He's going to drop the hammer. I don't know what the punishment's going to be, Skip. I don't know what the Players Association and Adam Silver has agreed upon. But whatever. I know the NBA, they love this kid, Skip. They believe he has an opportunity. He's a superstar, and he could be one of the faces. But they're going to send him a message. They're going to send him a message. So whatever that message is, whatever the max games that he can get, and hopefully he'll learn his lesson. Hopefully he'll learn his lesson. Hopefully he's getting the help. Hopefully he's getting the counseling, the talking to that he needs to help him understand the seriousness of what he stands a chance to lose. Because right now, I don't think he gets the gravity of what's in his hands. It's the bird in the hand, Skip. You know, when the guy asks him, say, is the bird dead or alive? He got his hands closed. He says, only you know. The bird's in your hands. Ja, only you know how this is going to turn out. Your future, your career is in your hands. But the punishment is going to be severe, I believe.
This young man is highly intelligent, and when he wants to turn on his charm for the adults, he can do it. Because he went up there and he put on a show for the commissioner, and the commissioner also swallowed it hook, line, and sinker.
What's the cliche? He came with hat in hand?
He did, yeah. Okay. Remember how Adam said, I'm so shocked the second time. I'm shocked.
Yes, because he saw it before me with his team and told me this wouldn't happen again.
Okay. My fear is that they're still going to try to protect him. My fear is I'm looking at this upside down from you because I love this line because it's the money line here.
Yes.
You just read it. We've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. And you're like, whoa, Ja, now you're in serious trouble.
Are there more incidents in which guns were involved?
All right. We know several were reported involving brandishing guns.
But Skip, we knew that.
That was reported by the Washington Post and others.
So if we knew that, we know the NBA knows that. But here's the thing, additional, which means Washington Post, New York Times, and nobody else knew. You and I didn't know. So what is it that they uncovered?
Okay. Can we be convinced that he's not just saying this to send the message, to telegraph to all of us, we're doing our jobs. We're doing our due diligence. We're turning up every rock, under every rock we look for everything this kid has done wrong. And we've got a file, we got a dossier on him. And we're going to drop the hammer. And we're all conditioned to, okay, here it comes, maybe day, 2 week or so after the finals.
But Skip, why would he say he's uncovered additional information and then give him the minimum amount of games? That's going to make him look bad. So you mean to tell me after he did what he did for the second time, you uncovered additional information, and this is all the time that you gave him? I don't believe he would have said that because he could have kept that information to himself.
Unless he's just trying to send a message that we're doing all we can do to research this, to investigate this. And my fear is that they're going to use what's operating right now, which is, remember, the indefinite suspension started on May the 14th.
Right.
So now we're 20 days in. By the time we get a verdict here, it could be, let's do 14 more days. It could be 34, 35 days. Is he going to use that as a crutch to say, well, he's already missed 35 days? Well, obviously, there are no games.
But there's nothing going on. No, I'm talking about the game, Skip. I'm not talking about, look, I mean, ain't nothing going on in the Grizzlies facility. Okay, if he want to go in there and get some shots up, he got one of the coaches that's feeding him the ball back. No. We're talking about games. You don't believe that he's going to get a significant amount of games. This is where you and I disagree. I think it's going to be at least triple the 8 that he got.
Okay. Again, trust me on this. I can't tell you how much I hope you're right. I just suspect or fear that you're wrong, given what we just went through the first time around, where, what's the old cliche? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, I don't want to get fooled again.
Right. But hold the thing. But that was the thing. He just fooled him. You gonna let him fool you again? He just fooled you. You just said he fooled you 2 months ago.
He did. He fooled all of us, and they participated in the cover-up.
Right.
That they fully allowed this to be reported.
Right.
The Grizzlies participated.
Yeah.
They released statements.
But Skip, you have to understand that he's 23.
Yep.
And you're just like, okay, he's 23. He made a mistake. He said, okay, this is what I did wrong. I understand the way of my ways. I understand that how important basketball is to me after being away from it, and I couldn't be there for my teammates because I let those guys down. I'm the leader. They're dependent on me. Okay, Ja, are you sure you learned, Commish? I've gone down. I've sought counseling. Even though I didn't stay but a couple of hours, hey, you know.
What'd you call it? Drive-through?
It was a drive-through. Hey, people stay longer at Airbnbs than what he stayed at the facility.
That's a fact.
So, and now, Skip, we find ourselves, he's right back in front of the commissioner. It's like if you go before the judge, you say, Judge, like, hey, I've learned my lesson, Judge. If you give me some lenience, I promise you I won't come before this court again. And then 3 weeks later, you right before that judge. What you think that judge gonna do to you? If he can, he gonna drop the hammer on your head.
He will. That judge has no Players Association protecting, but you've got district attorneys.
But that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, Skip, is that what's the maximum penalty that's punishable through the CBA?
Yeah.
I believe he'll get that.
I hope you're right. My suspicion is, from a distance, and I don't have any inside knowledge of this, I'm just watching how it unfolds.
Okay.
I think he has a problem that is unaddressed.
Right.
And I don't know exactly what that problem is, but he admitted it the first time around, I've got a problem, I need to, well, and what happened?
Right.
I don't know what, I didn't want to speculate. It could be 1,000 things.
Right.
But that issue is leading to the problems that we all see manifest on IG Live or whatever. It's all products of whatever this issue is that he's dealing with, and that, again, from my experience with these counseling situations, you have to at least commit to 3 weeks. They ask you to commit to 6 weeks. He committed to 2 hours or whatever. And listen, the way it unfolded, I'm not sure there was any Florida counseling. It just didn't feel like it even happened.
Right.
But
I'm going to take him at his word. He said he went.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you're right about that, but he couldn't have stayed long enough to actually fix anything.
No.
Right?
No.
Okay. So they love this kid because he is so good for their product.
Yes.
He is the highest flyer. He's the next Iverson. He is fun to watch.
Right.
Because he is going to do 2 or 3 things a night that will take your breath away and break the internet.
Right, because Skip, at the end of the day, look, I'm not trying to harm the goose that's laying the geese that's laying the golden eggs.
Yeah.
Why would I want to take Ja? Why would I want to take a Giannis or LeBron or Steph or one of these guys? Why would I want to take them up the court? People pay to see these guys. People pay to buy their merchandise.
Yeah.
I'm not trying, but also I'm trying to do everything I can to protect the NBA.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that look. I don't want the look that we allow this type of behavior. And like he said, it's not thousands, there's millions. These guys are so influential.
Millions of kids looking up. And he's talking about globally. Yes.
That's why your Nikes and your Gatorades and your Powerades and this one and the sleep mattress beds and this and the Carmack, that's why they attach themselves to them guys, Skip. These guys are influential.
Yep.
You know, socially they call them influencers. Well, you got the influencers to the umpteenth degree.
You do.
And so the commission's like, look, I want you to succeed. I want you to be yourself, but I don't want you to do anything to harm the NBA image.
Okay. So the big picture nuance here, being completely, utterly objective about it is, Ja has broken no laws, correct?
No.
Okay.
Just the NBA laws, which are the most important because it's a private entity.
Thank you. No single incident is so bad that you'd say, oh, he's got to be gone for half a year.
No.
But the body of work, body of misbehavior,
Right.
It has added up to a point that for a very young player is incredibly scary.
Right.
Right? Where the alarm bells are going off everywhere, where even the commissioner's saying, well, that could have happened, that could have happened.
Right.
You keep putting yourself into highly dangerous situations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where you went to the mall to protect your mom because some salesperson had insulted her, and you go in with your crew, and you get into it with the head of security. Listen, bad things can happen.
Right.
The incident after the T-Wolves were playing the game, and your best friend from childhood gets kicked out for the rest of the year, and then red dots are trained on the foreheads of the T-Wolves as they leave to get on their bus.
Well, you got to go.
Okay.
Because he's brought shame and he's brought embarrassment to me. Best friends got to go.
Got to go.
Yeah, because Skip, I get it. There's a term that's called reflective shine. I'm next to Ja. Whatever light that hits off him, gonna bounce on your boy. So we in the club. The chick see Ja. Your boy sitting next to Ja. I get some of that. I'm in the car with Ja. It's called reflective shine.
Yeah.
Well, see, what you're doing is now you casting a negative light back on Ja. Because of your behavior. Because what did they say, Skip? Ja's homeboy, Ja's best friend. They didn't even mention his name. Ja's best friend, David such and such.
Yeah.
Ja didn't do that. He did that. Ja didn't get kicked out the game. He did.
Yep.
But you see how they did that, Skip? When it's your best friend and you the name, your name gonna be in the headlines first.
Unfortunately, I know the name. I'm not going to say it, but I've read it so many times now. I know the name.
Yes.
And it was his IG live that happened to entail what you get to see. Oh wait, Ja's in the other seat doing what?
If I could offer Ja any advice, I say, Ja, tighten your circle down and change your ways. That's the only advice. Hey, your circle's big, bro. Tighten it down. You gotta tighten it. You gotta boil it down.
The only way to force that is through a suspension that is so severe that he has to come to grips with, am I going to lose all this? If he's lost Powerade and Nike is backing off, right? At some point, you have to be so penalized that you finally hit bottom and you say, man, I'm in danger of losing this whole thing.
Right.
I just don't know that he's hit that point yet.
I'm going to try to put it in as simple terms as I possibly can, Skip. Who out there would allow their friend, their best friend, their homie, to cost them $200 million? Anybody out there, you worth $200 million, would you allow your friend to put you in harm's way and lose it all? Okay. They're going to say, hell no, I ain't got no friends. I ain't got no friends I'm that close to.
Okay, but remember, Ja has already made $40 million, and that doesn't count whatever Nike and Powerade had paid him so far.
Do you see the guarantee, the max contract that JT can get?
Yep.
$318. He's younger than Jason Tatum.
He is.
So the next contract, the max contract he get might be $418. So you mean to tell me you let your homeboy or you let someone cost you the potential?
Agreed.
To be a Billy? Because in 10, 15 years, you might be a Billy, and you'll let your homeboy risk it all. I wish I might.
Yeah. I
could everything off.
So far, he thinks he can get away with having both. I can have my homeboy, and I can have my money and my stardom.
But you're starting to see, Skip, it's starting to interfere. They shouldn't overlap. Homeboy. Yeah. But when homeboy starts to interfere with work and starts to cost me money, starts to cost me my reputation. Yeah. Homeboy got to go. Skip everybody ain't meant to go.
Yeah. And to your point that you've made many times on this show, when your father becomes a dependent and part of your sort of traveling entourage, and he just sort of is going along for a great ride, well, then he can't be your father anymore. You're not going to listen to him, and he can't be your voice of reason.
No.
right?
He should never sacrifice that, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still got to be your father, because the dynamic won't ever change. It might change, like, philosophically,
Yep.
because now you are the breadwinner, you are the provider, but I'm still T. I'm dad. And, bro, I think you're doing it the wrong way. I know you don't want, like I said, Skip, I think the best, my team, my sister, that's one thing I'll say, knock on wood, Buck, well, she will absolutely want, Skip, and I don't want to, Skip, I hang the phone up on her. She'll tell you, if you call my sister right now, she say, when you tell your brother something that he don't want to hear, what does he do? Hang the phone up. And I'll go a day or two without calling, and then I'm like, I'm sorry, you're right. But that's how it is. My brother gonna tell me if I'm wrong. My homeboy, Bucket, he's like, homeboy, I've known you 30 years, but you're wrong on this one. Keith Burns, the same thing. Skip, you got to have somebody that will tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. Because what you want, you've heard that so much. Skip, do you know how long Ja's been great? Do you know how long I've been Shannon Sharpe longer than for 30, 40 years? So I've been good at things, and people have told me what I wanted to hear. You've got to have people in your circle that'll tell you what you need to know. Because telling you what you want to hear will get you in trouble. Trouble.
I just hope he's forced to pay a price now that will benefit him greatly for his long term, because he's got a long term if he so chooses.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Short-term actions have long-term consequences.
Yep.
It's really that simple. You got to pay today or pay tomorrow. Skip, if you put something on your credit card, that means you putting up the payment for a later date and time. Now you pay cash, you pay right now. So which is it? You got to pay one way or another.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.